One of the coolest things about cruising is the ability to go on the cruise ship, turn off all your devices, and be completely isolated from the rest of the world. You really can unplug on a cruise ship, and there is some coolness to that. However, you got people at home that need you. Sometimes you got to get a hold of the people at home, and sometimes you even got people on the ship that you got to stay in touch with. In this video, we're going to talk about how you stay in touch when you're on a cruise ship. Hey, what's up everybody? Tony with Lalita Loca. Welcome to the Lalita Loca YouTube channel. If you're brand new here, consider subscribing. Daily content about cruising, cruise ships, cruise news, cruise tips, cruise vlogs, anything to do with cruising. Subscribe to Lalita Loca with the notifications on and get all the latest content. We are in the middle of a special series, 31 cruise tips in 31 days. We're counting up to our cruise on the Carnival Breeze, and we would love to have your participation. Leave your cruise tip in the comments below, and each day we're picking one of those comments. We're pinning it to the top, and at the end of 31 days, we're going to have a special drawing for a Carnival Breeze prize pack. So we're going to hit it three ways today. We're going to talk about what if somebody off the cruise ship needs to talk to you. Number two, we're going to talk about when you need to talk to other people on the cruise ship. And then number three, we're going to talk about what if you need to talk to somebody who is not on the cruise ship who might be back at home. Number one, how do you contact somebody on a cruise ship? It's different for every cruise line, and so if you know somebody that's going on a cruise that you feel like you may need to get in touch with, you need to go to the cruise line's website and find out what the emergency phone number is. Some cruise lines have a dedicated number, some cruise lines have a call center that you call into, but you're going to need a few pieces of information. You're definitely going to need the cabin number and the name of the person, and you may possibly need the booking number of the person that you're needing to contact. Most of the time, you're going to make a call to the cruise line, you're going to tell them the nature of your call, and they will track down the person so that you can talk to them on the cruise ship. But before that person leaves and you feel like you might need to talk to them, make sure that you get, of course, their name, cabin number, and their booking number so that you can contact them. Another way you could contact somebody on the cruise ship has to do with applications and Wi-Fi, whether the person has that or not. We're going to talk about applications in every section here, but I'll go ahead and lay out a couple apps that are my favorite. There's an app called WhatsApp. It works both on Android and iPhone. Of course, the iPhone Messenger app, and then the Facebook Messenger app. Those are three apps that you will have probably good luck using on even the most basic of Wi-Fi plans for the person that's on the cruise ship. And then of course, if you're at home, anybody with Wi-Fi can use those. That's something you want to set up and test prior to the person going on a cruise. Make sure you guys have the same app, have the same way to connect, and make sure that you know how to do that before they go on a cruise. And if the person that you need to communicate with, if you know that they have internet on the cruise, then you can use that app. That way you don't have to call. Or if you know they're going to go to port a certain day where they might get Wi-Fi. But if the person's not using Wi-Fi or their mobile phone, you'll probably have to go the traditional route of calling through the cruise line. So when you're on the cruise ship, you do have a few options to talk to other people that are on the cruise ship. Probably the easiest way is the telephone in your cabin. You have to know the other person's number, or you might have to call information and see if they'll connect you to another cabin. But you can use the phone to call cabin to cabin on the cruise ship. And so if you know your cruising mates, your shipmates' phone number, cabin number, you should be able to call them up that way. Again, we'll make a call out to apps. If you are on the ship and you have internet, you might possibly be able to use the cruise line's own app for chat. I know Carnival has a chat feature that you can buy in their hub app, or you could use the Facebook app, the iPhone Messenger, or the WhatsApp app if you've already got those things installed. Again, I would do it before you get on the cruise ship just because the internet's slow. But you might be able to make some connections that way. Another way that you can connect with somebody on the cruise ship is put a message board outside your room, maybe like a magnetic whiteboard that sticks to your door. That way you can jot down a message for where you may be. Or if it's a cabin mate and you don't know where they're at and you want to catch up with them, we like to take some sticky notes with us, and you can write a note on the sticky note, boom, plant it right on the mirror, and then that way you know where they're going to be. And if we're traveling in a large party, what we try to do is we try to make times each day to meet up. The cool thing about that cruise life is that everybody can do what they want. So when we're traveling with a group or when we're traveling with family, we try to make at least one point each day where we know we're going to connect, and we usually do that at dinner through the main dining room. Now there is another scenario. Sometimes you might be on the cruise ship and you have to communicate back home. I'll call out the apps again. If you have that going on, that might be an easy way to reach out at home. If you're going to port where you can get Wi-Fi and you haven't had it on the ship, again, once you get Wi-Fi, you could call home. Sometimes your cell phone plan will be covered in certain places. You need to check that in advance, but that might be an opportunity where you could turn your phone on and connect back at home. But as a last case scenario, if you can't do any of those things, you can make a phone call from the ship back home. Each cruise line has a different procedure for that, but almost every cruise line that involves paying money, some exorbitant fees like $8 or $9 per minute. And so I would use that as a last resort, but in a pinch, in an emergency, you'll be able to call home that way. And I've never had to experience that in an emergency, so I don't know if there's some emergency situation if they waive those charges. But you should go into it saying, if I have to call from ship to shore, it's going to be really expensive. The question for the comments is this: how do you stay in touch on the cruise ship? Do you use some of these methods? Do you have your own methods? Leave a comment below for how to stay connected on the cruise ship. Thanks for stopping by. If you liked the video, if it was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Track us down on all of our social media. This is Tony with La Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.